are at Macedonia African Methodist Episcopal Church in Camden, New Jersey, which was initially started in 1832 in the homes of folks who lived right here along the 200 block of Spruce Street where we are located. And the address of the church is 261 Spruce Street in Camden, South Spruce Street. And so, not South Spruce Street, that would be West Spruce Street. 261 West Spruce Street in Camden. And we are only, if we could pan to the left, please, to your left, keep panning to your left, keep panning to your left. And as you can see, Philadelphia is right here on the horizon. And so the Delaware River, you can see how close it is to the Delaware River. And recall when we were talking about Frederick Douglass coming from just north of here to cross the river, and that he probably came ashore right around here. And we talk about the possibility of him actually coming into the Macedonia here for refuge as part of his escape to Canada. And so we're so really happy to be able to still be able to see this building and to talk about it and its historic representation of the African American presence in Camden, New Jersey. Now, this edifice here was structured in 1883, I believe, and as you can see, it is in poor condition, and but nonetheless, it has a rich history. The history of this church extends to periods pre-Civil War, post-Civil War, all the way. It still functions as a religious institution. Please come in and get this video a little closer. Thank you. So, the rich history of this church includes the rescue, at least twice, of enslaved people who were being taken right down to the Delaware River there to where slave catchers were ready to take them back into slavery. And in fact, one John Collins, who was a neighbor here, it happened to him during the service of a church service here, and the church members, it was the second time they had to leave the church in order to rescue someone who was being taken down there to that river to go back into slavery. John Collins later moved to Westville, New Jersey, to get away from that kind of threat that represented his freedom, lack thereof. And so there are so many stellar individuals who have spoken in this building here. We're talking about John Rock, Ishmael Locke, Margaret Wilson, the great evangelist Margaret Wilson, and so on. There's so many folks who have spoken here, who have been pastors here, Pastor Yoakum, Campbell, all of these great A.M.E. pastors who have, from this institution, carried forth a history and a legacy and have led, along with their membership, largely composed of the women who operated always as the energy force behind the campaigns for fundraising and different facts of organizing and creating one of the biggest Sunday schools in this area. So the existence of this place cannot be appreciated. I should say, overappreciated. Excuse that problem of language there. It cannot be overappreciated. And as I also speculate, Frederick Douglass, when he was escaping in 1859, certainly easily for him to make his way here and touch base with some of the activists who are lived in this community and had farms, and all of this area here was largely composed of gardens, family gardens, and things of that nature. Very close knitted community, largely folks from Delaware, Virginia, Eastern Shore, Maryland. These are the folks who founded this church. And so, what we want to do is to look forward to the efforts to sustain this place. And in our next segment, we will be looking at the residences of the Locke family. Ishmael Locke, who was the grandfather of Alain Locke, and both of them lived right here, near here. Ishmael Locke lived on the southeast corner of 5th and Cherry Street in the pre-Civil War period in 1850 census. You can see him living there along with John Rock as a resident in that house. And then his grandson, Alain Locke, grew up right there at 527 Stephen Street. And his mother, Mary Locke, taught for 30 years in the Camden school system. Imagine that, Alain Locke's mother teaching for 30 years in the Camden school system. And Alain Locke himself living right here in South Camden as a young boy. So with that, we will end this second of the segmented features of the Camden History Project. Thank you very much.